I'm gonna do it again because, well, honestly, because it was a popular video, so I figured why not. Today I'm gonna give you the pros and cons of living in Knoxville, updated version 2023, and we're gonna get started right now. What's up, and welcome back to All Things Tennessee with me, Ben Barredo, your local real estate pro and relocation expert for East Tennessee. Today I'm going to give you my personal pros and cons of living in Knoxville, Tennessee. I've done this video before and it was very popular, and so I figured, why not do it again? There are some new pros and new cons, and there is a change or two where I'm editing my opinion on past videos. So let's get started. Knoxville, Tennessee, the heartland, Knox Vegas, Rocky Top, whatever you call it, East Tennessee's little city of Knoxville, Knox County and surrounding areas make for an incredible place to live. I've been here since 1994, and except for a 4-year stint in the Marine Corps and growing up in Baltimore, Maryland from 1980 to 1994, I've always lived here. I went from hating this area as a teenager to absolutely loving it as a 43-year-old family man. So I feel like I have some solid credentials to give an opinion on life in the area. I'm also the self-proclaimed honest agent, so I'm not going to blow smoke or lie, because if I did and you moved here to find out I was lying, well, it really wouldn't bode well for my future business and stability and growth. Besides, my pros and cons are personal, and you might have different feeling altogether once you get here. So with that diatribe out of the way, let's jump into the cons first, on what I don't like about Knoxville, or what other people don't like about Knoxville. So first thing I want to talk about is the crime rate. We're going to get this one out of the way. If you do a little Google research, you're going to quickly see that the crime rate in Knoxville regarding assault, property crime, theft, and burglary is pretty high statistically compared to other cities of any size, some of those sites say. Now, this isn't really a con, because in my experience, I haven't really seen that much crime here besides what you occasionally read about or hear through the grapevine. It's a con because it's really affecting a lot of people's opinion of the area that don't live here. I mean, in my 20 plus years living here, I've experienced one house break-in, and that was an ex-girlfriend who was a bit of a psychopath, and that's a story for another day. And besides that, I've not really experienced anything as a victim of crime, or do I know anyone really that was a victim of crime, outside of being a victim of people they personally knew. I can't argue with the stats, they're there. And I do plan to do some research into this topic, because personally I don't see it, so I'd really like to get a clear picture on it myself. And maybe I'm a little bit spoiled because I grew up in Baltimore. But there's not a place in Knoxville that I'd be afraid to walk down or hang out in the middle of the night. To be quite honest, there's not anywhere in the city that I'm afraid to go. But either way, the stats are there, so for today, this is a con. Next up is the fact that you have to drive everywhere. Driving is a must if you live in Knox County. If you don't like to drive everywhere, you like to take the bus, life in Knox County can be somewhat hard. We do have public transportation, but it only runs mostly in the city, and outside the city, we don't have much in the way of sidewalks. So if you plan to live in the area and you don't live in the city, you'll need to be able to drive or have someone drive you as needed. This really isn't a con for me. I don't mind driving, but I can see where it's a problem for other people. Luckily, we do have public transportation in the city through the Knoxville Area Transit Bus System, or CAT. It runs regularly, goes just about everywhere in the city. We also have plenty of Uber and Lyft drivers. So overall, you're probably fine if you don't drive. Could it be better as far as providing public transportation? Of course, but you could probably argue that just about anywhere. The next con is that we don't have a ton of museums or like cultural exhibit type stuff. My wife, she majored in art history and she loves going to the museums. And she hates that Knoxville only has one art museum, and we do travel outside of Tennessee just to visit museums. So if you're like-minded and you might find that this is a huge issue for you. Now, we do have museums. We have the Knoxville Art Museum downtown that has regular exhibits that change all the time, as well as smaller art galleries on Gay Street in the downtown Knoxville area. We also have a natural history type museum on UT campus, and there are a ton of historic sites and cultural type places that you can go to learn about the history of East Tennessee and the Appalachians. But if you like a lot of options, like places like DC or New York, and your appetite's probably not going to be fulfilled here in Knoxville. All right, the next con is the small airport issue. Now, luckily, Knoxville has an airport, McGee-Tyson Airport, and it sits on the right outside of Knox County in Alcoa. And personally, it's a great airport. Though it's small, it gives you access to fly just about anywhere, and you don't have to drive far if you do want to travel. So why is it a con? Well, it's a con because it is a small airport with only 14 terminal gates, and for that reason, when you fly, you either are going to have a layover or you're going to pay a lot more than you would out of a larger airport. Now, luckily, we have Atlanta and Nashville a few hours away, west and south, so you could fly out of those airports. You'd have to figure out a way to get there, but otherwise, if you don't mind layovers or paying a little extra for your flight, then McGee-Tyson Airport will do you fine. Okay, the next con is driving and bad drivers. Now, I don't know if it's the fact that many people down here like NASCAR, or it's the very simple and easy driving tests that Knoxville do when they do these, when you get a driver's license. I don't know if we have a higher than normal accidents in East Tennessee. I didn't look at those stats, but to me, it feels like people around here don't know how to drive that well. They don't know how to merge. They don't know how to use their blinkers. They don't know how to give the right of way. And so driving can be frustrating, which is doubly frustrating because, I already said it's a necessity, so you're going to be stuck out there on the road. Listen, before getting into the pros, I'd love for you to check out last week's video where I give you the market update for the month of May 2023. You can check that out by clicking right here or follow the link in the description. Also, if you're thinking of moving to East Tennessee and you need a realtor, or you just have questions about the area that I don't cover on this channel, don't hesitate to reach out. My contact information is right here. It's also in the description. You can find it in the About page. Pretty easy to find. And of course, while you're here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It really helps out. All right, now that we got all that negative stuff out of the way, let's talk about the pros. And the first is a change that I'm making to another video. And one of them, I'm discussing the pros and cons, and I talk about how summers here are extremely hot. And the truth of the matter is, summers in Knoxville aren't bad at all. Yes, it can get humid. Like for today, I think it's 80% humidity, but it's also been raining for a couple days now. But the fact of the matter is, rarely do we have high 90s summers. Usually it's in the 80s, might feel like low 90s. Now, I came from California in the Marine Corps. I grew up in Baltimore, and I have a father from the Philippines, so my blood runs hot. I hate being hot. I keep the thermostat at my house at 67 or less. So I think in the past video, I was giving you my own biased opinion against the summer just because, again, I don't like being hot. But after talking to many friends and clients from places like Arizona, Texas, New Mexico, I've changed my tune. The summers in Knoxville are mild with a slight high heat midday, but quickly drops back to more comfortable temperatures in the evening. And so overall, the summers here are more or less a great time of year to be in Knoxville, which now makes every season overall a pro for the area, unless of course you like heavy snow in the winter. Then you might not like the winters here, because though we do occasionally get snow, it rarely ever sticks around. Alright, next up is microbreweries. Now, if you like microbreweries, if you like pizza, we've got over 41 microbreweries in the area. And all of them make great beer. The venues are usually laid back. Some are more restaurant style microbreweries where you can get pizzas, burgers, and things like that, family friendly. Others are more of like a night life focused atmosphere. But overall, the beer is good, it's original, it's local, and I think you'll like it. The next pro is small city life. Now, Knoxville is not a big city, but it's a city with at least one of everything you'll need or want. It's not easy at all to get lost. It's damn near impossible, in fact, to get lost, and it's easy to manage. From the low cost of living to the family-focused communities and the tons of events, it's a great place to live. There's usually always something to do. There's always something going on. So if you want to get out during the weekend, you'll find something to get into, and you don't have to drive that far to get to it. So one of the biggest things that I love about Knoxville is its size. Now the next pro, I might have touched on this in a past video, maybe I should have double checked, but it's just worth mentioning again, and that is the incredible views. This one is obvious, but we have incredible views in East Tennessee. Being at the foothills of the Smoky Mountains in Knoxville, having the Smoky Mountain National Park, you can easily step outside and see breathtaking, photo-ready landscapes all around you. For those reasons, we also have over 70 national and state parks in the area. They offer great fishing, camping, hunting, hiking, bird watching, and so on. You don't have to drive far at all to escape the urban environment and feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. The next pro is the fact that Knoxville is a college town. Now Knoxville and Knox County has the University of Tennessee, but they also have Pellissippi Community College, Roane State, Walter State, Maryville College, Carson-Newman, Lincoln University. The fact is you have tons of higher education options, and the colleges help give Knoxville an even number of, or an even flow of young blood as well as the elderly blood that's here, making the city vibrant and constantly evolving for the better. Also, if you don't care about traditional education, we also have a lot of technical school options like the Master Academy of Barbering, Paul Mitchell Downtown, the Tennessee School of Beauty, Tennessee Truck Driving School, Drive for Life Academy, the Electrician Training Academy, and so on. So if getting a higher education, traditional higher education, isn't your thing, and you just want to get out there and make money, but you want to have a specialty, we got those covered as well. As you can see, we have both the good and the bad in Knoxville, but for me, the pros definitely outweigh the cons. With that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, have a great day, have a great week. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Bye.